On today's show,
Blake Griffin was just traded to Detroit. We'll break down the reported Clippers-Pistons deal.
we discuss DeMarcus Cousins' season-ending surgery, how it affects him and the Pelicans' immediate future.
And we have a unicorn sighting in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies.
It's Monday, January 29th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're joining us live right now on NBA TV, watching later on YouTube, listening to the podcast, doesn't matter. We're happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Mellis.
Thank you for joining us.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily.
And last, certainly not least, over yonder, that is the bearded one. That's Trey Kirby.
Hey!
Yo! TK, what's up, man?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, last week the All-Star Draft got all kinds of buzz as everybody was playing the which team is better game. But as it turns out, the league is doing a little bit more to spice things up as ESPN's Chris Haynes reported that each player on the winning All-Star team will receive $100,000 this year, up from the $50,000 they used to get in years past. Now, $100,000 is nice, but it's still just cash. We can do so much better. And it brings us to today's question. What other prizes should be awarded at the All-Star Game? For instance, on the drop last week, I suggested iced out All-Star necklaces for the winners, and they're maybe $100,000 a piece. Still think that's a good idea. Or the league could give out a year of free food to the Cheesecake Factory. Players would love it. Or what if the MVP got to take home Kevin Hart? You keep him for a week, he tells some jokes at your house, maybe film a movie with The Rock. It could be really fun. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter what other prizes should be handed out at the All-Star Game. Send us your best tweets to hashtag the starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get those tweets in. We got a fun show tonight. We will get into DeMarcus Cousins' season-ending injury. We got a new batch of Weekend Whoopsies. We got Lee's very solid play. But we start with some breaking news. We had one heck of a Woj bomb.
We got ourselves a trade!
Just minutes be coming on live here. According to ESPN, the Clippers have agreed to trade Blake Griffin to the Pistons. And the Clippers will receive Tobias Harris, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, a first-round pick, a second-round pick. You see going back there with Blake. Reportedly, again, this is just happening, Willie Reed and Bryce Johnson. Yeah, this just happened. Just came out of left field a little bit. I mean, earlier in the day, we saw that Avery Bradley was a possibility to be traded. Pittsburgh was looking to move him, but this Blake deal out of left field. What's your initial reaction to this?
I think the Clips did great. They signed Blake Griffin to a 5-year deal in the offseason, an entirely new front office, and they decide, well, this isn't really working out with DeAndre Jordan, but we can go get a great package for him. Now they're just going to blow it up and basically say, all right, that Blake signing turns into a great package that, they didn't even need to pay Blake Griffin, more than half a year's salary on that 5-year deal that everyone questioned. I think it works out fantastic for them.
And they paid him that extra year too because of their injury risk, and Blake gave up his no trade clause apparently. So this basically was what the Clippers, I think, had in the back of their mind. They're thinking, we'll sign him to the max deal, see how things go. He's still a young enough guy that we can probably get a pretty good return in back for him.
They did.
And if you look at the Pistons, though, their season started off so well. It's fallen apart completely.
Yeah.
They needed to shake things up, so they get rid of Tobias Harris, who was in the All-Star conversation. Avery Bradley, that hasn't worked out as well. So not a bad deal for both teams right now.
Yeah, but what are the Pistons doing here, though? They got a 4-5 in Blake and Andre Drummond. It didn't really work in Los Angeles. Blake's not a number.
It didn't work. I mean, they won 60 games a few times. They were a really
Chris
good
Paul
team.
was there. They
Yeah,
don't have a Chris
exactly
Paul.
true. But Blake is used to playing with a traditional big man, we'll say.
Yeah.
DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond kind of play the same way. I think the Pistons look at it as we traded Ersan Ilyasova and Brandon Jennings expiring contracts for Tobias Harris, and now we get 5 years of Blake Griffin. 5 years of Blake Griffin now, maybe not the same as 5 years ago, but in general, the guy's a huge name, and they've got him under contract for 5 years in a new arena that we've seen people are not filling up.
Exactly right.
Now you got Blake Griffin. He's exciting. I'm still a Blake Griffin fan. I think he can still be an all-NBA level talent. I think this is a pretty good trade for both teams,
And
honestly.
they got the best player in the deal, which is what we always talk about. I mean, if you are the Clippers, they get back Bradley, who's expiring. Who knows what's going to happen there? Tobias Harris is a good player, but he's not Blake Griffin. So the Clippers are obviously looking to start again. If you're the Pistons, they're like, we need a name. It's not a free agent destination either, Detroit. We've got to remember. So now they get a marquee name in that arena and a player who, he does have some injury concerns, but it's still, Best Blake is still a very, very good player and an all-star caliber player.
He is a very good player, but I think they still need another perimeter guy. Do you think that Little Caesars Arena is filling in to see a Blake and Andre Drummond team that's going to win what? I mean, they're going
Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you've signed this. I agree with that, but now you've got a guy for another 4.5 years. I mean, it's a lot of bucks.
It is a lot of
you're
bucks.
playing.
Yeah, I would say they're not done yet. I would say they're still trying to find other pieces because, as we mentioned, their season started off great. They were 14-6. They're now 22-26.
Yeah.
Still in the playoff hunt, mainly because they're in the Eastern Conference. So this gives them an improved roster, an improved team. But I would say Stan Van Gundy and that ownership there are looking to make a few more moves.
Is this a possible problem of having a coach who is also the same GM, and I'm talking about Stan Van Gundy. He's the coach of the team, but he's also trying, in theory, to think long term. And there's maybe a conflict of interest here. Because you guys, what you're saying here is like, yeah, the Pistons are like grasping at straws here to maybe try and make a playoff race, try and get people in the seats. But then when you're countering it with like, is Blake Griffin a long-term plan that you want to hitch your wagon to, especially with the injuries?
I mean, I think they have a lot of faith in Reggie Jackson being their point guard. It's easy to forget that he's been out for a very long period of time here, and that's why they've fallen apart from that 14-6 start. So that's who they have a ton of faith in. I mean, you look at the Clippers and you watch Lou Williams basically run the show for fourth quarters here. And that's what Reggie Jackson is going to be doing a lot of, even with Blake on the floor.
Yeah, and I wonder what kind of plan the Pistons really had in place otherwise. You're going forward with Reggie, Toby, and Andre Drummond. That's a fine team. Maybe you can win 50 games in a good year in the East. At least now you have a little bit higher ceiling. I think putting Blake Griffin, you hope he stays healthy. Who knows if that's going to happen? That's definitely been a problem. But if he is able to stay healthy and he's able to mesh with Andre Drummond, kind of the way he was with DeAndre Jordan, I think they can be a better team now with Blake alongside those guys rather than Tobias Harris.
Getting back to your point, though, this was Stan Van Gundy's team that he built. And so now he's trying to start all over again. So he's made some moves that haven't worked out. Now he's gone for the home run shot and hoping that he's gambling that Blake Griffin will stay healthy for one, and he will be an all-star caliber player for the remaining 4.5 years on that contract. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then they are stuck with a pretty hefty contract for a guy who his best, most athletic years may be behind him already.
Yeah, on the other side, that's exactly what happened in Los Angeles, but they separated those duties for Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers had both duties this offseason. It sure seems like even though it looked like they were going forward with Blake Griffin as a long-term deal, they basically said that. They basically said, we're blowing this baby up, but we're not telling anyone right now. I mean, we'll see in 4 months they made this decision after seeing Blake for half a season as their quote-unquote number one guy.
Yeah, what was shocking with the Clips, I think, is we thought, well, maybe it's DeAndre that gets moved, or Lou's balling, maybe someone wants to take a flyer on him, and they look to trade him, and here it is, the guy they signed to a 5-year, $171 million contract. But that's the thing, when it happened at the time, I remember us going, that doesn't mean he's not going to be moved. This doesn't mean like, well, the Clippers are going with Blake for the next 5 years. We've seen it happen before. Nene comes to mind back when he signed a sort of a bigger deal. I know it was a bigger deal at the time there, back with the Nuggets. They traded him. I mean, this can happen here, but still a shocker, a big shocker here, especially to the team he's going to. I think that's the other part. Blake Griffin is an LA guy. There was no trade clause in his contract. Is he excited about this? Is he excited to go to the East and go play with the Pistons?
There's a lot of cars in Detroit to jump over. I think that could be good. Maybe this would be good for the auto industry, a guy who's just flying over cars. But I think that Blake in the East, he probably would be even more in the All-Star mix. There's definitely a chance that he's going to can get back to the level he was playing at before just because he's playing in the Eastern Conference. I think that that's a plus for him, but it'll be weird seeing him playing in the East, that's for sure.
You'd think that team is a playoff lock because you mentioned he is those numbers that he's putting up, they should be all-star numbers. It's easy to overlook his numbers.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They are still phenomenal. He was just injured this year.
Blake Griffin reportedly headed to the Detroit Pistons. Just happening here. We'll obviously talk about it on tomorrow morning's Twitter show in greater detail. We got to take a break, regroup, focus. And,
DeAndre Jordan just got traded. Just kidding.
No, we'll get to the depressing news from the weekend, all these injuries that happened. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Starters. It's time for Is This News, the injury edition. Trey has rounded up some recent, definitely depressing NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us, and we'll try not to cry live on the air here. Trey, take it away.
All right, our first headline is from Business Insider. Trey Kirby makes billions after initial curb coin offering. Wrong one. This one, DeMarcus Cousins out for season after tearing Achilles in brutal blow for one of the NBA's rising teams. Is this news?
This is mad depressing news.
Yes.
This is depressing news.
Yeah, for DeMarcus Cousins, let's start with individually. He's taken a lot of flack in his career. He was 6 games above 500 for the first time in his career. Things were going smoothly. This is undoubtedly the best DeMarcus Cousins we had ever seen going into a contract year. Pelicans kind of riding high, even though it's a very top-heavy team, and him, Anthony Davis, and Drew Holiday are playing a ton of minutes.
Yep.
You know, they were hovering around the 500 mark for so long, and now they go on this winning streak at the end of the biggest win of their season, the Houston Rockets win. He gets injured. It's terrible, terrible news, because where does DMC go from here, unfortunately?
And it's
We
a
just don't
scary
know.
injury
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that worries me. A
Yeah,
lot of guys
exactly.
haven't bounced back, quite been themselves when they have this Achilles tear, especially if you're a big guy. I mean, Elton Brand's been thrown around a lot, possibly similar. He was a 20-point-per-game scorer. He was a beast. He has this injury, and he's on record saying, I was never quite the same. I mean, he was on the Hoop Collective podcast saying, once you get the calf, then it's the ankle, then it's the knee, the hips, the back, it's all sort of connected there, and it can transfer to one another. Now, that's 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
I understand that they've obviously probably gotten better at rehabilitation and science and all that, but man,
That was
I'm worried
nothing-
about him
yeah.
coming back to
Yeah.
what he was doing, and he was putting up monster numbers.
He was
And
putting
this
up-
was his best fitness year as well.
Exactly.
Right? That's going to be something hard to even get back to.
Yeah.
Just get back to this level, let alone another level.
Because you talk about the Pelicans, they did start off slowly. They were starting to figure it out. Things were getting good. They were looking like they were in a pretty good spot for the playoffs. They're still 2 games up over the Clippers in 9th, but then more importantly, 6 games up on the Jazz. So with Anthony Davis there, I still think that they can survive and make the playoffs. It's going to be tough because teams you would think are going to load up on Davis now and make these other guys shoot 3-pointers and try to beat them that way. But they've still got a superstar. So if you're the Pelicans, all is not lost right now.
Maybe not for this season, but
Yeah.
what do you do with Cousins? Like, is Cousins going to still get max money thrown at him,
I
either
think
by
so,
the
yeah.
Pelicans or
He will.
another team?
He's only 28, and he's a surefire 2010 guy. He's been that way his whole career. I think teams are prepared to take the risk on him, to throw big money at him, because, again, at 28, he's still got plenty of time to come back. He may not be quite as dominant, but I don't think teams are going to say, let's stay away
But
from
even
this
an
guy.
80%
For
Cousins
sure.
is still better than
Look at
majority
how
of the
good
league.
he's
Yeah.
been when he's been in a different situation than what he was in Sacramento there. With a good, better team around him, he was able to thrive. His assists were up. He's able to create. He can defend. He can rebound. He was hustling a lot this year. He can spread the floor. He can do all those things. Maybe not quite as effectively, but I think teams are like, let's just go after and get this guy if he's unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, let's hope the Pels can find some sort of deal or, work out something out for DMC to come back because, they've invested in him thus far. He has made it seem like he wanted to come back. So I don't know if it's a 1 year, hey, we'll pay you X amount and then see where we go from there or something. And they have to work something up because it's such a top-heavy team. I mean, where do they go from there and what happens to Anthony Davis if DMC leaves?
Yeah,
right?
that's a whole other question. All right, very depressing. Trey, next one.
All right, our next headline is from Slam Online. Andre Robertson undergoes season-ending surgery. Is this news?
This is news.
Yeah.
This guy is an incredible defender. Great defender, gets thrown out a lot in this league, but
Yep.
he is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. And he's a very, very big guy. This puts a lot of pressure on Paul George. Paul George goes from most likely, being sort of that free safety, helping out, and now he's got to guard the other team's best scorer.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't have a great bench, the Thunder. That's the problem here.
Yeah.
Whoever is now going to come into that starting lineup, maybe it's Abrines, maybe Grant.
It was
Houston.
Ferguson,
Yeah.
but Donovan says we're going to
Shuffle,
do it
keep
by
shuffling that
game,
around
yeah.
because they can get offense out of other guys, but they won't be able to get that same defensive approach that Andre Robertson gives. But he's an interesting player as well because on the offensive end, teams can ignore him. So he does give back a little bit. But again, the Thunder, they've picked things up, won 8 straight, looking fantastic. Sam Presti is a wizard though. So with the trade deadline just a couple of weeks away, I think he's going to try to get a deal. I was looking at them maybe going after Avery Bradley until this
Earlier
news
this
with
morning.
Yeah.
You were on the trade machine.
I went on the trade machine. I couldn't figure it out at the start, but I got there.
Hey, they can still trade for him. There's no reason really for the Clippers to keep him.
Well, good point, yeah, because he's out of contract. Things haven't been going well. And he's exactly the type of player, but a better offensive player than what
Who do you want?
Andre Robertson.
Andre Robertson's
Yeah,
been,
they make a move. Undoubtedly, they
Yeah.
make a move. They've gone all in this season, trading a lot of youth for Paul
Yeah.
George and Carmelo Anthony. So if it's Avery Bradley, your trade machine, what did it say? What did it say?
It did work. It was Abrines and
Houston.
Raymond Felton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
You can throw in a
basically-
singler
yeah.
for a Felt.
Yeah.
They can go get Rodney Hood as well.
But again, the Thunder have to think not only this year, but they also do have to think next year. And so that's the sort of move that Presti, I think, could be looking at.
The problem with that is they don't have draft
A
picks.
pick, yeah, they can't throw
first
any
round
of their
draft
own
pick
picks
until
in,
like
yeah.
2022 that they
Yeah.
could throw in there to entice a team
Yeah,
to maybe go
that,
there and get him.
that does make it a little bit tough. But then again, Bradley, unrestricted free agent, so there's
Clips are
nothing
blowing
really-
it up.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing there for the Clips to
Could be in
necessarily
play.
keep him.
Could be in play. All right. When we come back, classic weekend whoopsie moment right there with KP. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, official partner of the NBA.
Welcome back to the starters, where it's time for some weekend whoopsies. The NBA delivered once again.
All that drama in Cleveland, Kevin Love says, let's just throw something else on the fire. Throws his jacket right on Jeff Green's face. Oh, he doesn't like his teammate. He doesn't like his teammate.
Jeff's laughing, isn't he?
Definitely worse than getting a jacket thrown in your face is a ball. Kristaps Porzingis in the face.
If you're gonna get a ball thrown in your face, make sure someone has a phantom cam on. It does look cool.
He was okay.
First possession of the game, the Rockets get off to a terrible start.
Okay, what are we running?
Not setting the tone very well here. Clint Capella
Okay, good start.
can't handle it.
First possession.
And they would lose.
Matthew Dellavedova with one of the slowest falls you'll see. I mean, he's tripping on his own guy there, but a little stop and pop from D'Angelo, and down goes Delly.
Right there for the rebound, though.
Now, Lou Williams bends over, and this fan in the front row here, she has something on her mind. What's going on there? What is she doing with that
I
finger?
have an idea, but
what
I
is
can't
she
say it.
thinking? And her friend to the left thinking the same thing. Yeah, in on that.
Jazz Raps. DeRozan with a chance to win it. Ooh, comes up short. He was not happy. He liked the look. He knows he should have knocked it down, so he just rips those new OVO North jerseys.
Those are nice jerseys. Kevin Durant, pregame, not happy with that shot. Punches this ball way up.
Heads up!
Lands right on a fan. Hits him right in the face. Now, Kevin Durant went up, apologized, and brought the fan to the locker room later. Signed some shoes for him, according to ESPN. The fan was all right.
Okay. Man, look at punching balls here. That Celtics-Warriors game was incredible. Steph Curry was amazing. But he got a little too cocky on this three-point attempt. Yeah, he's turned around. He thinks it's in. And very swaggy P-like here.
Pretty much the only shot he missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that show, guys congratulating each other. Hey, great show. Well done. Oh, no.
Oh, no!
Missed that one, too, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only two.
It's like Lee Ellis.
Bucks Bulls had a Sunday matinee game. And you could tell it was a Sunday matinee game. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
look at this. What's going on here? Turnover after turnover. Throw it up. No, throw it.
Oh, missed the marking and
Don't look
Same
at-
game.
don't look at
Lowry
me.
Markkanen almost does the splits as he turns it over.
left
dangerous.
skip marking.
Yeah, this game was awesome.
Get Larry Markin out of here before Lee says something again.
Ings, Spurs, Kyle Anderson. Yeah, we focus on his shoe there because it blew up.
Wow.
It just like ripped right out of it. There you see a better shot of it coming out.
Floppy.
Yep. Little shoe malfunction. It happens time to time.
Now this is incredible. Pelicans fan is going through the warm-ups with the Pelicans, with the team. He's on the court.
Give me the ball.
He snuck there from his
Give me the ball.
courtside seat.
He looks official.
He does. He's got the same hoodie.
Same hoodie.
Oh yeah. If he hits
he's
it,
gonna take a
you
shot.
gotta sign him.
Oh, he's getting yanked off the court here.
Sir.
Hopefully you hit that shot. I doubt you did.
I guess
He's not being kicked out.
Apparently not.
Back of your courtside seat, I guess.
Ah.
Yeah, apparently he's a comedian, so I guess maybe he knows everybody. All right.
killing it.
Well, last week we were wondering when we'd get our next wedgie. Let's flash back to Thursday when Ostradamus here made a prediction.
Tristan wants to know when the next wedgie will be. Oh. It's been forever.
Oh man, I'm not a miracle worker here. I will say we'll get a wedgie by the end of this weekend. Give me a Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, he was exactly correct. Let's go to Toronto Sunday. Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong on the call.
Challenged by Ibaka that time. And our friends from the starters will appreciate that. They call that the wedgie right there as it gets pinned between the rim.
We saw the guys on
Yeah.
Wednesday night in Atlanta.
I did, and you were a social media star that night as you.
What happened?
You gave them a shout out, right,
Okay.
on social media, and you were
that-
with them, and
okay.
then it just went viral, Jack.
Seriously, I didn't know that.
Hello! Didn't quite go viral. We were
No.
expecting some more hits, but either way. We didn't get just one wedgie on Sunday. We got two.
Nice one.
This later Sunday evening. Lee didn't predict that one. but,
That wedgie must have been behind the other wedgie in your crystal ball.
Yeah,
there.
I was not getting greedy. I just wanted one at
Yeah.
a time. But they come in bunches. I got to remember that.
Yeah?
Yeah, 2 on Sunday. We got 19 on the season.
All right, beautiful. When we come back, we'll get to Lely's very solid play, and we'll circle back to the big news from the day. Blake Griffin headed to the Detroit Pistons. Don't go anywhere. Blake Griffin tweeting minutes ago his reaction to the Clippers-Pistons deal, where he's reportedly headed to Detroit. Little Fresh Prince. Yes, here's a look again at the reported trade. Griffin going to Detroit. Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Boban, bunch of picks coming back there. Reed and Johnson going with Blake. This is crazy. Is this just the start of what's to come here? Not only with the trade deadline, but maybe the Clippers specifically. I mean, are they done? Is it complete fire sale going on here? DeAndre next? Lou next? What happens?
Do you think so? But
Lou
they-
definitely, I would say.
Lou, yeah. I mean, his value couldn't be any
For
higher
sure.
than it is right now.
Yeah.
An expiring deal. You'd think they'd trade DeAndre Jordan, but a complete fire sale? No. I mean, you're keeping Tobias Harris, who's a borderline all-star in the Eastern Conference this year. You're getting your picks. So, yeah, I mean, they're restarting.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But Clippers did really well, to sign a guy and then to go get a borderline all-star, to get a defensive guy, to get a first-round pick. I think it's a good return.
Yeah, Lou's playing the best basketball of his career right now. Plenty of teams are going to want him, especially making a playoff push. The Cavs obviously interested in him and perhaps DeAndre as well. But yeah, it's going to be pretty fiery, I think.
We will see. Okay, let's get
10
to our
days.
pick'em play tonight. This is getting tight between Lee and Tass here. We're running out of nights here in January. It's Nuggets Celtics. Trey, Lee, and myself have Denver at home. Tass the only one taking the Celtics. So obviously somebody's going to take the lead between Lee and Tass tonight. And that game, it's a game on NBA TV tonight. So we'll be watching for sure.
Whew, glad it's not a 10:30 tip-off.
No, it's early enough there for you, Lee.
Oh, man.
You got the pregame show starting very, very soon at 8 o'clock. More social integration from the fans with that Fast Break Monday. All right, Lee, very solid play time.
Yeah, you talked about that Bucks and Bulls game not being the prettiest. Well, there
No.
was one pretty play here from the Bulls.
Okay.
Everyone gets involved. There's a little bit of dribbling and ends with a dunk, but that's what I call a very solid play, all things considered.
All things considered.
Now it's time for the highlight. That wasn't just because the play wasn't executed. It doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic. Jeremy Grant probably should have corralled this instead of going up for the putback, but we thank him because this is a gorgeous missed putback dunk. That's gorgeous.
If he would have wedgied that, that would have been fantastic.
Looks great from that
Far
angle.
off. Tomorrow it's Tuesday, which means you got to join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern on Twitter for the Starters Twitter show. We got a lot to talk about suddenly. Blake Griffin headed to Detroit. We'll get into the Cousins injury a whole lot more. We didn't even get to Conley's injury. Grizzlies have shut him down for the season, so we'll talk about that, I'm sure. So join us at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And just wanted to thank the Pistons and the Clippers for executing that deal before we went on air.
Appreciate it. Race the night, people.